TIAA is on a mission. Why? Because 54% of Black Americans don't have enough savings to retire. So in collaboration with big-name artists like Wyclef Jean, TIAA released Paper Right, new music inspiring a new financial future. With 100% of streaming sales going to a nonprofit that teaches students how to invest. Stream Paper Right now and help close the gap.
This episode is brought to you by Pepsi Wild Cherry. Pepsi Wild Cherry is bursting with delicious cherry flavor and a sweet, crisp taste that gives you more to go wild for. Getting wild may look different these days, but whether it's opting for a solo Friday binge watch or a big night out, everyone can indulge in their wild side with Pepsi Wild Cherry. Also available in Zero Sugar. So grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
Hey, do you have an idea for a podcast but don't know where to start? Or do you have an already existing podcast that you want to take to the next level? Well, check out WeKnowPodcasting.com. From concept development to theme music to editing to logos, WeKnowPodcasting.com is a one-stop shop for all things pod. Don't hesitate to hit us up. We're very nice.
It's Halloween 2021. Ed Mount has dusted off his haunted house sound effects LP, and we're back. For episode 3 of the Vibecast, a podcast celebrating the 20-year history of the Philadelphia band Chico's Vibe. I'm your host, John Parkinson. I'm here with producer extraordinaire, Matt Kelly. Can't say enough good things about Matt. And Matt, it's been a busy month for Chico's Vibe. A lot of good gigs. Some new gigs. We played at a winery, and there's also been one of the few new labels that have been introduced in the band. For instance, I like to think of myself as the bald Bon Jovi of the band, but Dennis has given me a new name, the Tony Tennille of Chico's Vibe.
Oh, yeah.
I'm taking that as a compliment. But these guys that we're about to introduce, they are proudly embracing the name given to the band by a client this past month. And I'm going to quote the poster from the client's ad for the gig. Yes, you can dance the night away with the protectors of the American dream. Dennis Chiquino, John Gephardt, and Ed Mount of Chico's Vibe. You guys are.
Wait, where was that?
Land title.
Yeah,
I took a picture of it.
I mean,
Yes.
Not to, they did a great job, but the poster, the way it was aligned, it's a dance right away.
That.
Protectors of the American Dream, Chico's Vibe.
And Ben Franklin's right above us in front of an American flag.
But it wasn't the right Ben Franklin.
And boy, did they dance the night away.
They did dance the night away, Dennis. Yeah, we're here. It's fall. How have you guys been since the last podcast?
Yeah, good.
Doing good? Cool.
Yeah, doing good.
So our podcast, as you guys know, it releases on the last day of the month, which means that for people who are listening on the day of the release, it is Halloween 2021.
Ooh.
What a coincidence.
That's right. And for timing-wise, it also sets us up for Thanksgiving. We're going to roll into Thanksgiving, and our next podcast won't release till after Thanksgiving.
Right.
So I thought for today's podcast, we talk Halloween gigs, Halloween songs that we do, songs that you like, songs that if we had to do a Halloween gig with nothing but Halloween songs, what would you pick? That kind of stuff. Or we cannot do that.
Yeah.
And then, Thanksgiving gigs, because Thanksgiving Eve is a big bar night,
biggest bar night.
Yeah. And we've done more than our share of pre-Thanksgiving gigs. And then I also, as I thought about it, I can only think of one Thanksgiving song that I know and like. So I wonder why that is. And if you guys can think of more Thanksgiving songs, we'll get to that.
Okay.
But let's start with Halloween. And I'm going to start with the budding star of our podcast, Dennis Chiquino. So, Dennis, you and Gabby know tons of songs.
Yeah.
And you know Halloween songs that we've done.
Right.
What songs do you like? What songs do you do? What songs do you favor for Halloween, and then from there, if you whenever you want.
Spooky is a good song. Spooky is a good song.
That is a good song.
I like
you know
that
who
song.
did that originally, right?
I just heard this too. The
classics.
other day on XM Radio.
4.
Classics
4. Oh, I thought it was what's her name? Dusty Springfield.
I never heard her version.
Ooh.
But I bet you it would be sexy because she
was great. Yeah.
Sexy singer.
And then there was maybe an Atlanta Rhythm section.
Yeah, the Atlanta Rhythm section.
Yes,
I love
that
that
was the more current one.
Yeah.
Well, current back,
Yeah.
Current back one.
Oh, it was when did that come out? The 80s?
Yes.
I think it was in the 80s.
Early 80s.
Yeah, the Atlanta Rhythm section.
Right.
had a
That's
few
great.
songs.
It has a great. They always had a great sound.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what else? What else you guys think?
The Monster Mash,
Yeah.
which I just can't. We've done the Monsters theme.
We have done the Monsters.
Yes.
Yeah, we've done the Monsters
Yeah.
theme, which was pretty cool.
We did that down at the
Kimmel.
Oh, that's right.
Kimmel
Yeah.
Center. When we had our big, huge
We used to play-
concert at the Kimmel Center.
That's
you know,
right.
It was
Twice.
amazing.
Twice.
Where we opened for the Philadelphia Orchestra.
Yes.
Twice at
In the
Kimmel,
lobby, but-
because we had Carlotta Tendon.
That's right.
We've done Werewolves of London.
I was just going to say that, Joe. So the host of that first Kimmel Halloween party we played was Carlotta Attendant.
Carlotta
Tendon.
Her name was Carlotta Tendon.
Right.
But it was Carlotta Tendon.
Anyway, I'm like, oh,
With
wow.
scruff in an open V-neck dress, but with scruff hanging out of the dress.
And a beautiful
And a beard.
dress.
And shadow, yeah. So getting back to Halloween
songs. Ed, jump in.
Yeah, you said Werewolves of London.
I thought of one.
Yeah.
Boris the Spider.
Oh, shit, we did that a few
We
times.
did that because I remember Matt Cantwell would go, Boris the
Yes,
Spider.
he did the Boris the Spider part. After we did Boris the Spider one night down at PJ Henry's, she comes up to me. What is that song? I said, it's a Who song. John Entwistle sings it. It's called Boris the Spider. She goes, don't ever do that again.
You guys did that at the rocking chair, and you're like, no horns on this song. So we got off the stage. And
We did?
I'm standing there with Matt and Jerose.
Somebody must have asked.
And then
Holy
that
crap,
that chorus comes up. Boris the Spider. And Matt goes, what the hell is going on?
He doesn't understand John Entwistle.
I don't remember. I only remember doing that at either the little club or the big club. One or the other.
I know
and
we
the
did it at
rocking chair.
Henry's because that's where Sandy.
Rocking chair closed that same year.
It was after that gig, actually. I think it was after that gig. They said, we're
Boris the
shutting this
Spider.
place down.
Boris the Spider closed it down.
We used to, that place would be packed when we played. Yeah. I mean, so packed I didn't want to leave the stage and try to walk outside or anything. You know?
I'm drawing a blank. That was, I knew Spooky, which we said, and the Boris the Spider one, but I can't think of
a Monster Mash like we said.
Yeah. But other than that,
So what we're saying, there's not a lot of good.
There's not a lot
if
of
we
good
had we do Enter Sandman. That would be a good Halloween song. But
I want to bring
I
back
fool
the
around
Monsters.
with the Exorcist theme every once in a while, but I don't know if that constitutes as a song, really. But
Elfman has some great.
Yeah,
I was because we talked about what was that Elfman song that you guys wanted to do? Dead Man's
Party.
Good. I wanted to say Dead Man's Curve, but
Dead Man's Party. That's a good. I always like that song.
Yes, there's not a lot of Halloween.
So go ahead, Ed.
songs.
You have to have some other ones.
Well, there's This Is Halloween from Nightmare Before Christmas.
This is
Halloween. This is Halloween. Pumpkin scream.
We've never done that, but it's a good Halloween song.
And a rock band covered it. Panic at the Disco.
Panic at the Disco.
Covered it. Not that you guys would be dying to do it, but
You guys danced to Thriller for a couple of years.
That's what I was going to say. We could always pull out the Thriller.
A small segment of Thriller.
Yeah.
Right?
Good one.
And it's interesting to think through what killed Thriller for us.
Why did we stop?
I think the combination of we're getting too old and we didn't want to do it anymore.
we actually didn't have to fake the moves because we actually move like that now. So, yeah. So,
Thriller was big for a lot of years for us.
It was. It was a big hit at Rose Tree.
It was a big hit. And at weddings, people.
Yes.
Do Thriller.
Laurie Santalieri constantly wants us to do Thriller
my
all the
God,
time.
Laurie Santalieri. The one that told me never to sing Neil Young. Your voice isn't high.
I shouldn't say
Dennis.
Laurie. It's actually Laura.
No,
Laura Santalieri.
I called her Laurie my whole life.
Well, yeah, but
Grew
she's
up
Laura.
across the street.
Yeah.
This isn't the treasure trove I expected it to be. I mean, you want to talk Halloween
No.
Halloween gigs?
Yeah, Halloween gigs.
Halloween gigs, yeah.
Because there's lots of gigs. There were different phases of gigs that we did. Like we did Halloween only gigs. We did the Kimmel Center.
A thing pops up right
Yeah.
in my head is Dom Durbano, and he had too much fake spider web above him. We were
drums.
playing the drums.
Was that at the Little Club?
I think it was
at
at
the
the
Little
Big Club.
Big Club,
Was it
okay.
the Little Club?
But I think
big.
it was either Matt or somebody was screwing around and like detaching some of it. So then his stick got caught on it, and it had the effect of like, have you ever watched them make cotton candy? Where the guy, he gets the thing, so he's like, don't captain, and he's like spinning like a cotton sweater, just and we're laughing, and the more we laugh, the more upset the Don got. He's like, all right. Yeah, but it was like watching cotton candy be made. Real, just like,
Rolling in.
we're like, whoa.
My favorite Halloween moment, and I don't even know if it was on Halloween, but it's when Dan Monahan, he wore the mask the entire gig. He kept that mask on. I turned around, I cracked up. Because, it was
That's
a
right. He
perfect
had
mask.
the Jason mask. That's right.
It was a perfect mask for him.
That gig was my own personal favorite of my own because I went as Mr. Clean.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was so easy. All I had to do.
Right.
I think I went as an inmate. I had the orange jumpsuit with a fake tattoo on my arm.
And Ed and I were
remember
talking
that.
about this good costumes. Who was it? The Siamese twins?
The co-joined twins.
Yeah.
That was
Jay Webb and
Mike
Jerose.
Jerose.
Yeah.
And they stayed like that.
They
the whole-
committed because once they put that shirt on, they were attached.
Yes.
So like, if I needed to talk to one of them, they both had to walk over to me.
John Yadush at that gig was dressed like some hillbilly farmer
With a melted eyeball.
with a melted eyeball
Yeah.
and those hideous teeth that you can buy. Yeah. And he kept them in the whole time. I couldn't even look at him.
That's great. This goes back to a It was a Halloween gig at the 5 Spot. And I don't know if you guys remember this. There was a...
Oh, you're going to talk about...
Yes!
Oh, it's the greatest of all time.
Yes. The guy
Are you
that was
kidding me?
dude on
There was
stilts.
a guy on stilts wearing all metal plates. So all they knew, we were told later, the 5 Spot was there hiring somebody like a guy who blew flame from his from his mouth with a torch. But it turns out he came dressed in all metal plates. He was on stilts,
Right. Yeah.
And he brought his girlfriend who was in metal plates, who had a
But like it dressed like all in black.
Yes.
Yeah.
and she had a metal
Grinder.
a sander.
A grinder. No, it was a metal grinder.
So he has a plate over his private parts.
And she's grinding the plate.
Private parts and there's sparks flying off. And I'm looking
It
at
was
him
the
like,
greatest act of all time. The greatest act of
I'm
all
looking
time.
at him like, oh my God. And he's next to me going, this is awesome.
Maybe the greatest Halloween thing I've ever seen in my life.
Were they the aristocrats?
Yes.
But then there was another time where she was just sitting on the stage grinding herself with the thing up her chest, down her legs.
That's entertainment.
When she was grinding on his crotch with the metal grinder and sparks are flying all over the place, he was blowing the smoke out.
Right.
The flames out.
Flame out of his mouth.
I thought it was the greatest show of all time.
Oh my God. And then we went on with String of Pearls. Yes! Right from that. So it was a perfect transition. Right?
But we were dressed as nuns.
Dressed as nuns.
Yes.
Right, we were dressed as nuns.
Oh, man.
And Dan Spolin looked like a nun. When I see those pictures of him It's like he probably looked like a nun. I would never guess that it was a guy.
Oh my goodness.
He looked like a nun.
I like the Kimmel Center one because we got to see we could go inside and watch the Philly Orchestra play.
Yeah,
I have pictures
Kimmel
somewhere
Center.
on my computer from those gigs.
The timpani guy was like a giant palm tree or something. So when every time he played, he was just this big. I remember that.
A lot of those musicians in the orchestra came out and not joined us in the band, but they joined the party. They loved the band.
I never realized what a tight connection we have with the Philadelphia Orchestra. We played the Academy Ball.
Yeah, sweet.
Many
Times.
Yeah.
Many times.
But I remember it was at the Little Club. It was a Halloween gig, and my favorite was Mike Jarose came dressed as Matt Gallagher.
Yes,
he had a mask. He wore the outfit, the whole thing, and they stood next to each other.
Didn't he just put on an Eagles jersey?
Yes.
Yeah, and he was
Matt came dressed the same way.
Picture of Matt and strapped it across his face.
On his face.
Oh my God!
That was
I
the
remember
best.
because he cut the mouth so he could try to play the trumpet through the mouth,
That's
so
right,
he
I
could stay in
remember.
character and be Matt the whole night.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's pretty awesome. I don't know if the Halloween celebrations have tapered off or
Yeah,
we just moved on to different
It's
things.
been
We're not
it's
doing
been a
them.
while.
Yeah.
I am going to make this statement now. I will never play another Halloween gig. I'm going to put that right in the category with I'll never play another St. Patrick's gig.
What?
Oh.
You
So-
can't. I need you for St. Patrick's.
You need me for St.
Where am I
Patrick's.
going to go playing bagpipes? If I can't-
That's true.
Come on.
That's true.
When are we ever going to recreate Purple Rain on the bagpipes if you're not playing?
Well, we don't really play St. Pat's gigs as a band.
As a band,
No,
fair
it was
enough.
always
but it's
a duo.
dudes.
It's
Yeah.
always on me, and it's been since I started
Chico,
playing.
you start doing like Saddam Hussein, where you have like lookalikes that do all the gigs that you hate.
I am Chico. Yeah, let's go.
So that's what you do. You get a couple of them, put in an ad. You've seen my picture. If you look like me, come on out. All right, I want you to go down to the bowling alley. You got a acoustic guitar gig there.
When you get old and cranky like me, and you can't hear anymore, and you start getting fat again, and you can't even stand up.
Wait.
I don't feel like playing gigs that I don't want to play.
Right, that makes sense. We may cut this out, but still.
This may be the last episode of our podcast, I think, because we just lost all our listeners.
Chico and Gabby have broken up many times. He went out as Aunt Gabby a few times. But yeah.
So what about Thanksgiving gigs? So they've kind of evolved over. We've become recently a staple. Thanksgiving
Yeah.
Eve at Springfield Country
Thanksgiving
Club,
Eve, yeah.
which is a good night. It's an interesting night.
It's an interesting night.
And it's on this year.
Yeah,
It's happening.
It's an interesting gig to say
Yeah.
the least.
It's
Yeah.
fun, though.
It is.
It's a fun
It
gig.
is.
How about when the
fun.
one really old woman came in with her bag of sand or sawdust or whatever it was?
And sprinkled it on the floor.
yeah.
Start spreading it on the
And then she went out and did the shim sham.
That's when
Yeah,
you,
she did
Yeah.
the shim shim.
that's when you knew Chico's vibe had crossed the threshold.
Yes. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's rubbing her shoes like in the sawdust.
Yeah.
So it makes it easy to dance. Gabby, of course, he starts playing, and whatever song, T for Two or something. And in the middle, he's going like,
Oh man! Was it Thanksgiving Eve or Monica took the dive over the monitor? Or was that?
That was
I think
one
that
of the
was the
epic-
night after Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, usually we were there like on Friday night.
She
right.
was coming from Monica. I hate to bring it up again, sweetheart, but it's one of the greatest
That
dives
was one of the
all
most
time.
epic falls.
Because it sounded like a Warner Brothers sound effect, like from Looney Tunes. It was a fall that just kept going.
Yeah.
Like if you took an anvil, a couple rubber chickens, and threw it down a
And the
stairwell.
best part was her shoes were still on the floor. Yeah. She came out of her shoes.
It was in midair. Chip and Monica came in from a reunion. It was either a Carol reunion or a Haverford reunion. I cannot remember. Place is packed. And of course, Monica's, you know, you're a little bit wasted, huh? But she always wanted to be right in front of the band. She comes running up, like trampling through all these people, pushing them out of the way. Doesn't realize their monitors right in front of us. And she comes up, hits the monitor, goes flying in the air. Shoes go flying off, smashes into Matt Gallagher's stuff, knocks everything down.
I always love every time Matt saw her afterwards, he would go, "Shields up." But in terms of Thanksgiving songs, there's just kind of aren't it. The only one I know, I'm not even sure I like it, but is Alice's Restaurant.
Oh, good point, John. Yeah, it's a Thanksgiving song. That's the only one I know.
Apparently, Ed and Geb don't. From looking from their eyes.
Whenever people request that song when I'm playing, I only do the chorus.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes on for what?
It's
17
minutes.
Yeah. So,
First thing that pops into my head is, I like to eat the turkey with the big brown pie. Sammy Davis Jr. only had one eye.
Oh!
Is this Adam Sandler?
Yeah, the Adam Sandler turkey song.
Would Home for the Holidays be considered a little bit of a Thanksgiving? I mean, it's Christmas.
Yeah, I think people kind of relate more Christmas.
I found a man who...
The only one I really comes to mind to me is Charlie Brown, Thanksgiving. Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go.
Wow. I didn't even
They would
associate
sing that.
with
They were in the car. That's the only Thanksgiving tune I can think of.
Thanksgiving is a holiday that doesn't really have...
It's too bad we're in the sunset of our careers, because we could have come up with we could have done a Thanksgiving album.
I am way past the sunset.
Other than trying to get Dennis to sing Alice's Restaurant, I think we've exhausted our Halloween Thanksgiving mashup.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was just getting ready to sing. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant.
Except in Alice.
You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. Step right in, it's around the back, just a half a mile from the railway tracks. You can get anything you like at Allison's Restaurant. There you go. Yeah. And I would always double duet that up with a tune from Hot Tuna called "Keep on Truckin' Mama." Same chord structure.
Oh, okay. Pierre Robert plays that every Thanksgiving.
Gabby, was I
friend of the
was I singing that in the right key, or was I half a step off?
Yeah, it was off.
The only other thing I'll say is it's one of my Thanksgiving traditions. I try to watch The Last Waltz on Thanksgiving, but none of the songs are Thanksgiving songs. So.
Oh, okay.
We've if for those listeners of the first couple podcasts, they've learned a lot about you guys, I think, so far. Mm-hmm. But maybe it's time to learn more about the rest of the current band members. So the segment I think I'm gonna call it Meet the Vibe or Meet the Vibes, because I like sometimes when people are like, it's Chico and the Vibes. And let's learn a little bit more about one of the vibes.
Okay, let's learn about one of the vibes.
And our special guest on for our podcast today is our guitarist. We call him the Great One.
Yes. We're going to talk about that.
One of the original members of Chico's Vibe.
Yeah.
Actually.
There he is.
One of the original members of Chico Vibe.
Chico Vibe.
John Yadush. He's on the screen now.
Oh, I wish you could say
everybody.
Hey.
It's Chico. It's Chico and the Vibe.
That's
Chico
right.
and the Vibe. That's it.
Yeah.
That's right. I made John listen to our first couple episodes of the podcast. What did make him?
What do you mean you made him?
But John, the first episode, I asked these guys to talk about, and so I want to ask you, when you first got into music, when you first picked up the guitar, what was your inspiration? And then talk a little bit about, if you want to, talk a little bit about the first band you were in, like when you first, in a performing pop band, to say, sort of along the lines of what we are. And then lastly, how your version, because it's been described previously, your version of how you came to know, Dennis, Gabby, and the rest of what is now Chico's Vibe. So dive in. Like what got you started?
Well, the first instrument I played was actually the drum set.
What? Oh. See, already we're learning things.
Wow.
Never knew it.
I was about 5 or 6. My oldest brother, Bill, drummed, and he showed me how to do the basic pattern, with the kick drum, the snare, and the hi-hat. And I got it, I think, relatively quickly. And then I would play. I'd throw the records on and play with, Deep Purple. All the classics. So I could drum to those songs. And then after that, I just drummed for a while. And then when I was around 9 or 10, it was my idea to take accordion lessons.
Wow.
I don't know exactly what made me decide to do that, other than
Deep Purple didn't have an accordion
drums.
player.
The next brother down, Mike, he played piano, some clarinet, and basically the only instrument in the house that wasn't being played was the accordion. So
for good reason.
So, so my mom would play it, but she would only play the piano side. She didn't know the button side, so she'd just play on the right side. So I guess part of it was I wanted to do it for her.
Yeah.
Because nobody else played it. So I asked her one day if I can take accordion lessons, and she was all for it. So I did that for about almost 3 years, I'd say.
Wow.
So I was pretty dedicated up to, till I stopped practicing. But I would actually walk half a mile up the road once in a while with the accordion if my parents couldn't drive me there. So I was dedicated.
When's the last time uphill both ways?
Yeah.
When's the last time you've picked it up, the accordion?
I don't pick it up often. I do have an accordion student who comes regularly once a week. So sometimes I play it with him, but I'm usually playing the guitar while he's doing the accordion. So I wish I had the time to do it more often. I just don't. And if I do start practicing it more, I'm gonna want to get a new one.
I think it would be great in the middle of Living on a Prayer, instead of the guitar solo, you put the guitar down,
pick up the accordion,
or we even have a guitar tech come up and take it off of you and like harness you in the accordion, and you just
he just dropped off.
You have to leave the location.
Oh God!
All right, I'm back. What were you saying?
Oh man!
So anyway, so I did accordion for a few years, and then I remember I was 15, and it was a couple months before Christmas. I remember this vividly. My mom asked me what I want for Christmas, so I said a guitar. And I didn't really think about it much before that. Before she asked me, I just blurted out, I want a guitar. She said, what? I said, yeah, I want to try a guitar. So she got me one. I kind of saw it in the back seat of the car. They didn't hide it very well. I just saw a Yamaha triangular box. So I kind of figured I got my wish.
That's a spare tire. Don't look at that.
So they gave it to me Christmas Eve. I taught myself Jingle Bells Christmas Eve, and I was hooked from day one.
Well, that's pretty cool, because then, I mean, when you went to college, did you major in guitar performance?
No, my undergrad, it was music education with a jazz studies component at Temple U. So basically it was a 5-year major. I wanted to do jazz, but they didn't offer jazz to an education major unless you did the 5-year major. So it was a 5-year major. I did classical and jazz, and I even did a semester of bass, stand-up bass.
Wow.
And and then my master's degree is jazz performance.
Oh.
So John could actually sub for us.
Yes!
In all facets.
All facets.
Right.
Wow, man.
Well, wait, I just have a quick question. Or the student that you have that's accordion is an accordion student. What Metallica song is he learning with you?
Well, the kid is 68, I think. But he did learn Long Train Running because he sees Chantel and I play, and he wants to join in. So he learned Long Train Running, and he can rock out on it.
All right,
so
that's awesome.
We're gonna add him to the next performance we do on accordion.
Next year, Rose Tree.
Yeah, that's great.
Rose Tree. That's right.
When did you start performing? I'll call it rock pop stuff. Like, when did you get into what made you decide to get into a band? How did that
All
happen?
right. Well, when I started the guitar, I was actually my main inspiration to pick up the guitar was Willie Nelson.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, it wasn't Metallica. It wasn't even Deep Purple. It was Willie Nelson. I went through a cowboy phase. I just wanted to be a cowboy. I wore a cowboy hat.
It's all tying together.
And I got the guitar, and I just started learning Willie Nelson songs, Waylon Jennings songs, George Jones, all the country artists. I just wanted to be a country singer with a guitar.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of focused more on the guitar and got okay at that. So then I got into, then I started listening to Hendrix and those guys, and I really got inspired by them.
Right.
The first band I was in that I remember that actually played was a band called Hidden Drives. And it's when I was right out of high school. And one of my bandmates was AJ Swearingen, and he actually tours with his wife, and once in a while he tours with a guy and they do a Simon and Garfunkel tribute. He's actually played with the Philly Pops.
Okay.
And I think he's done that before Matt Gallagher was a member, but he tours all over with all the orchestras in the country, and he does this pretty cool Simon and Garfunkel tribute, and he's very good at it. But that was my first band, and we did all the classic rock stuff. Weren't making any money, so that didn't last long. And then when I was in college at Temple, I got together with a band called Ivy. It was named after the lead singer. She was very good, and her name was Ivy, so that's what the band was called. And I did that for a while. And then I met you guys.
Now, we've heard Dennis. Oh, Dennis is I thought you were raising his hand. Your hand.
That was very nice, Dennis, with the hand raising. As a teacher, I can appreciate that. Yes, Dennis, do you have a question?
Totally didn't meet these guys. You met me.
What a kiss up. What a kiss up.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I met Dennis first. Dennis and John Hoey.
Yeah. That's going to say, what's your version of that story? We've heard Dennis's
let me hear
version.
your version.
Yeah. All right. Well, the version I remember is, again, I was at college, and I was one of the ensembles I was in was the Latin American ensemble. So we did all kinds of merengues and sambas and everything. I played a few different instruments in that, including the guitarrón, which was my favorite. That's the big fat bass. Bass thing. Nice. You played in octaves. So I did that, and I did some guitar, of course. And the way I remember it was that John Hoey and Dennis came to one of those performances because John Hoey was, I guess, seeing a member of the ensemble. So it was just the right place at the right time. She came up to me the next day in school and asked me if I know John Hoey. And I said, I know of him. I never met him. I know people at school would talk about the band, so I knew it was a band.
Get out of town.
Yeah. And she said, he wants to know if you want to join the band as the guitarist, because his guitarist, Dan Spolling, at the time was moving to Los Angeles.
You're right. Yep.
So I'm thinking, yeah, I'll do that. I was at college to get the education degree, but I wanted to play too. And I thought this was a good shot at doing it. Also, it took pressure off of me because I always thought of that kind of as a blind audition. I didn't know I was auditioning for anything, and I wasn't. But they heard me. They liked something about it. So that's how I got in. And then I was contacted. I don't know if John Hoey contacted me or Dennis, somebody, to invite me out to come play a few songs. And that was at McGillicuddy's.
I remember that. I remember that.
So I remember coming. I think Ed. I think you said something about you saw the band the first time there. I'm not sure.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
you're
it's the
missing
same place.
a whole lot in between there. A whole lot. It's all true. Dan Spollen was moving. We needed a guitar player. We had auditioned a couple guys down at my old studio. They were like not even close. And we weren't coming up to audition you. We're coming up to see Karen's recital. And you're up there playing.
Right.
I said, you're playing. What was that instrument called?
Well, I was playing guitar, but the guitar.
I know, but you played
a
lot of different things. You also played electric guitar.
Bass. I played some piano too.
So you're playing guitar.
Montuno.
I can see I'm like, John, what about this guy? He's freaking great. Listen to him, and he's playing all this. He goes, he's pretty good. I go, John, just call him up, tell him to come out and play with us or something. This guy's great. Get him. And he called you the next day. So I'm taking credit for you.
You get all the credit. That was awesome. Thank you.
And even in the next band too.
Yeah, so that's it. Well, that I'm intrigued because when you talked about John joining Chico's Vibe,
yeah,
I want to see if John's recollection is the same. That
right,
John had a sense that you guys were going to form Chico's Vibe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I was only in the Hoey band for about a year and a half. And along the way, I started, I'm not the most talkative guy in the band. I think you all know that.
Get out of here.
So I'm just listening to the conversations. I'm listening to the conversations going on, backstage during our costume changes. I started getting wind that some of you guys weren't very satisfied with where the direction of the Hoey band
where
was
it was
going.
heading.
Matt and Mike had already quit.
When I heard that, I kind of got disheartened because I liked the band. In fact, the first time when I saw you guys at McGillicuddy's, I was like, "Holy crap, these guys are good," and I want to be a part of it because it's I've played in other bands that were good, but you guys were just on a different level, and I could sense that right away. In fact, I remember thinking to myself, which one's John Hoey? Because I didn't meet him in person yet. I'm thinking there must be. I figured, Dennis, you must be John Hoey. And then I see Debbie singing every other song.
That's a really good point.
I'm thinking the keyboardist must be John Hoey. Then I find out it's the drummer. So when I started hearing talk that you guys were leaving, I was like, oh crap! Now what am I going to do? I just got in this band. It's a good setup, and I knew. I love John Hoey. I love that he gave me that chance to join up. But at the same time, I don't want to offend people, but I know you guys were, to me, the heart of the band. Yeah. And when I knew you were leaving, I remember, I don't know what gig it was, Dennis,
I do.
I remember coming up. Yeah, I remember coming up to you and just saying, if you guys are leaving, take me with you. I want to go. And I thought about that for a while. I had to decide: do I want to, give up what I got now because I was still kind of new to the band. Or do I want to take a chance? So obviously, I'm glad I took the chance.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you took me. So
when I went and told John Hoey, me and Gabby are leaving, I said, it's me, Gabby, and Matt are going to form another band. I said, but you know what? I'm not going to ask any of your other members to come with me, not included Parkinson. You came up to me. We were playing, what's the place called up on the river, Gab?
The mansion up there. Yeah.
Yeah, we're on a break, and, I'm walking over near the river, and you walked up to me, and you said, Dennis, you're forming this other band. I said, yeah. He said, well, I want to come with you. I said, all right, but you're going to have to tell Hoey. Because I told him I wasn't going to ask any of his other bandmates to join me. He said, okay, I'll tell Hoey. And that was it. You were in the band right off the bat.
You said something like the gig is yours or the job is yours if you want it. But then you said you got to tell Hoey.
Yeah.
And I wound up not even having to do that dirty work because I feel so bad. I still feel bad about this. It's as funny as it may be now. We went... Matt Cantwell, who was the bass player.
He was the next one that came.
I think I was there for this.
He and I went to Hoey's basement to do
I was there for this.
You were there too. So maybe it was you and Cantwell. All I know is that's when we were telling him what was going on, and I didn't open my mouth because I didn't have to. Because Cantwell and Parky started telling him, I'm like, oh, I just kept my mouth shut.
It was just Cantwell did all the talking. I still didn't leave at that point.
Yeah. That's right.
I was weeping inside.
Yeah.
And I was just keeping my mouth closed, and you could see he was not happy, and he said, well, we'll need to rehearse. So it was an early night anyway, so I could get home early. And, I do feel bad. I still feel bad about that, but I didn't know what else to do. I had to think of, my future, my career, and like I said, I made the right choice in hindsight.
Right.
No hard feelings for John. I hope he doesn't have them for me. But
he hates you, man.
That's all right.
Yeah, the funny part of the whole thing was Cantwell did the same thing that you did. He came up to me and he took care of it that way. We just left Parky in the weeds. It was a shame. At first Matt wanted like 4 trumpets. Like, oh, no way. We talked about this last time.
That's horrible.
I told Hoey, no, here's already 2 guys that I wasn't supposed to get, and now they're in my band, and they got to go tell Howie, and I just sort of left him in the weeds. And it even said to John, with me and Gabby gone, you could bring Karen into the band more. And I said, Parkins is a great lead singer too. And we put that, I put that on you. And even though
6 months of hell,
I don't feel bad about it. I do feel bad about it, but I still think it's funny. I don't know.
It built character.
Parky.
But
Parky,
anyway,
I'm gonna take partial credit and blame depending on how you look at it, whether it's from our point of view or Howie's. But I remember saying to you, Dennis, I don't know if you remember when we were going through changes early on, and we needed a trombonist. I said, why don't we get Parky? And you said to me, this was at a rehearsal, I think, for Chico's Vibe when it was still Revibe.
Yeah.
And Dennis, I remember you saying to me something like, I can't take any more of Howie's guys. I can't take his whole band. I said, Parky would be great. You know he's going to be. And that's, so I don't know if that's what did it, but next rehearsal, Parky was there.
Right, because we had a duo gig, and we asked John to come to the duo gig.
I could talk for an hour on that. I'm not going to say anything. But let's get to the next portion of John's.
Yes, absolutely.
So what I said to John was that I was going to let each one of you guys ask one question, whatever you want. And John did say, just try to be nice and keep the questions easy. Right. Each one of you guys get one question to.
I actually don't remember you saying that at all.
Oh, Matt, can we cut that out too?
So fine print. You have to read the fine print.
All right, who wants to go first?
I got a question. Is how come you keep your car so clean on the inside?
Well, because I spend about half of my waking hours in there, and I like to have a clean environment to drive in and relax. Because sometimes I have to nap in there when I get to a gig early. So that's
I'm at gigs and I'm thinking I want to take people on a tour to show them John's car. But I don't, maybe me and Tony might go out and have a chuckle, but I don't do it. But I might start doing that. And maybe, you might be able to make a couple extra bucks.
He said to me one time he was going to let the valet guy take it back and be like, what's all this stuff? And
it wasn't like this when I left it here.
What do you mean? It wasn't like this.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't like this when I gave it to you.
What's all this?
What's all this stuff in the back seat?
It looks like I've got to get my windows tinted now. For some privacy.
No, but my serious question would be, and you're a quiet guy, like you said, and you can be a solitary guy sometimes. But I noticed that during a lot of our breaks, even dinner break, I think last night, you just sit at your guitar area. And what do? Practice? You put the headphone things in or something? Or
Yeah. Sometimes I'm practicing.
Or is it you just don't like hanging out with us?
Well, both. Yes. It's like both.
I'll do a little bit of both. I'll hang out with you guys for a minute or two, and then I'll go back and practice and check an email, doing business, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Whenever I have a moment, I gotta use my time wisely.
That's right.
All the driving, so I do
that's
a
true.
lot of.
You do have a lot of driving.
All right, so I have a question, John. I mean, being that you're down in the Baltimore area, what's your mileage?
Oh, that's a great question.
At each year.
I don't know exactly. I hope my accountant's not listening because I give him a very rough estimate. But it's over on a typical year, not 2020, of course, but on a typical year, it's over 30,000 miles.
Jeez.
My last car, my Elantra, my 02 Honda Elantra had 430,000 miles on it.
Amazing.
I was trying to get to 500,000, but we did the math, and literally, unless I'm wrong, I could have made it to the moon and back.
Well, I'd have to say, on behalf of the rest of the guys in the band, we are very, very thankful for all that mileage.
Well, I'm thankful you guys have me.
You're very dependable, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Except when you're not.
I like to think of it like that. In fact, that's what I tell my students: is you can be a good musician if you're not. You got to be dependable too.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter how good you are if you're not if you're causing stress to your bandmates because you're not there in time, or you're missing too many gigs, that kind of thing. So I try to do that.
Yeah, like when the maitre d's coming up wanting to do the lineup and stuff, and there's nobody there to speak with yet because they're not there yet. Like that kind of stress.
Tell you what, man, maitre d's are on my hit list.
That was so great. So John, last
really
night
specific.
The woman, the coordinator keeps. I was the only one on the stage, and she kept asking me, "Where's Chico? I need to talk to him about the." And I'm like, "Well, let me text him." And I text him. I'm like, "The coordinator wants to talk to you." And his first response was, "I want to kill coordinators about as much as I want to kill wedding photographers." And the second response was, "Tell her to call me."
I cracked up when I saw that. Tell her.
He's like, "That's the last thing she
It
wanted."
pisses me off because I know what I'm doing. I have it all. I work it all out before I get to the gig. The night before, 2 nights before. I got the whole timeline. I got the whole wedding party. Everything's and you come back with me sometimes. I know what I'm doing more than they do. And they're pain in the asses. Any wedding coordinators out there that are listening to this, don't bug me about that shit. All right?
Tell them. You tell them, Dennis. Tell them.
Well, that's about the end of Chico's Vibe on private gigs.
I did it all
now.
through Howie, and now 20-some years of Chico's Vibe.
My phone's blowing up. There's all these cancellations.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Parky, it's funny that you say that when she came up to you, because I see that happen a lot because you're right in the front of the stage. That's one of the benefits of being in the back.
Yeah.
Even when I'm the only one on the stage during the breaks, I just don't make eye contact. Because I see people coming up. They're either going to ask for songs. I don't know if we're going to do it. Or they're going to, I can't hear half the time. They're talking to me. I don't know what they're saying. So I just look at my phone and play the guitar. I don't see them. Even when I do see them, I don't see them. That way I don't have to deal with
we
that.
should just be like, he doesn't speak English. I'm sorry.
When he sings vocals, it's just phonetic. He's just
That's right. I just memorize the sounds.
So one of the things we ask is like, if you could pick a song to play with the band, that what would that song be? Do you have some?
I would say I wouldn't mind doing a Hendrix song, but the kind of venues we play, like a typical wedding, that sort of thing. I don't know how that would fly, but I would
Purple
love to do
Haze at
some
weddings is fantastic. Manic Depression at weddings,
Hendrix.
I think.
Yes, that would be
First set.
We used to do Fire, right? Didn't we used to do Fire?
I think in Howie.
I don't remember.
You could do it. You could do it up like
I just remember
Weird Al does.
like in an old
hey,
version
Joe,
of
where you
Chameleon.
going with that gun in your
We
hand?
used to do, "Excuse me while I cut the cake."
Yeah, cut the cake.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
What we used to do with Howie too is what's
Oh
yeah.
Wind Cries Mary.
Yes, Wind Cries Mary. We
did
used
that
to
with
do that.
Howie?
We could do
Yeah,
that.
we
We
did
could do
that with
that.
Howie.
Simon Says we did Fire.
Yeah.
That's a first set.
Yeah. So there's a lot of Hendrix we could do. Put that down.
What's your favorite song to sing?
I guess Wagon Wheel. It's the only one I sing.
Oh,
There's a
the
couple of
Hootie Tunes,
right?
You got. He used to sing
yeah.
a Clash song, didn't he?
Rock the Casbah.
Why do you
10
think?
years ago, I think.
Why do you think they're not in this set?
I don't know. I'd probably say Wagon Wheel. That's the one we do most often. So.
Well,
Wagon Wheel.
do you like singing background on anything more than you like singing?
Yeah, the ones that I'm comfortable with. Yeah, if I think I'm going to ruin it, I don't. But if I know I can nail my part, then I do it. Then I jump in. Or the ones that that I've been singing for years background. Yeah. I like doing that. Okay. Sometimes the singing kind of. What I like, one of the things I like about playing with you guys is the talent level and the musicianship is so high. That's what helps me continue doing the gig as far as all the driving and the time involved, because for me, they're relatively low stress gigs. I can show up, I know I just play my stuff, and I can, I don't have to, I'm not taking on the responsibility that you guys are especially the three of you who are running the band, and Dennis with the emceeing and everything, because I don't do all that. I can, and you guys are so solid musically, I can relax a little bit and I can get to the gig and do it. And it's fun. It's not, I don't feel like it's work. I still don't feel like it's work.
Oh, that's good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's good. Yeah. We all put in the work, and I last night we did 3 songs. that we had never done before.
Right.
And I thought they all sounded really good. Me
too. Yeah.
And like, John, you and that Coldplay song that was...
that was really
cool.
I was like, whoa. Because when we started to do it, he's like, "You're singing this? Yeah, yes." And, it's like,
and then I had to get
my
all
God.
quiet, like, "Oh,
the
everybody
whole
else
week I'm
hates
like,
it."
"Oh, I can't believe I got to learn this song."
Real quick, not to get off the subject, but we did one of the songs we did last night, Watermelon Sugar.
Sugar. So
right?
you sounded great.
It was
Yeah.
great.
So
good.
at the end of the night, George is like, "Hey, that song sounded really good. You guys should you should do it." But he goes, "One thing I got to say though, it's a little too Delco." And I said, "Too Delco?" And he goes, "Well, it's not water. It's not watermelon. It's watermelon."
Well, it's funny when we did "Hooked on a Feeling." Jakubowski was like, "We should do a totally Delco, like Hooga Shaga, Hooga," and we were going Hoagie Shaga, Hoagie Shaga. Yo, man, hooked on a feeling, man.
So anyway, not to get off
that's
subject.
awesome.
So go ahead.
No, but that was it. Just commenting on,
Yeah.
reinforcing John's point, and
Yes.
and including John in that, how musicianship
Wise, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on a desert island. Which one of us would you kill first for food?
Well, that's a good point. We haven't talked about cocktails. Yadush Mountain cocktails.
Exactly.
Oh, boy.
Cocktail prowess is unbelievable.
Oh, jeez.
A staple of our cocktail.
Talk about reasons to continue making the drive up from Maryland. Right there, number one.
And an occasional ceremony.
I'm just amazed that one of them hasn't killed each other.
I do like the cocktail hours because not that we play much, if any, jazz, but once in a while we'll play a real book song. And I don't get a chance to play them much. First set, sometimes we play through them. It's fun, and it makes the drive more rewarding for me to have that extra hour of playing. I do like doing it.
There's nothing like hearing Time in a Bottle, single notes on guitar. And a sax player.
You guys have been doing that for at least 15 years.
Like you said,
he's been doing it since the beginning of Chico's Vibe.
Yeah, it was always Joe Smith and I would play.
I was
first set up on stage.
Oh, geez, yeah.
And it's nice to that occasional time where we get an acoustically very nice room.
That's rare.
Yeah, and we're like, ooh, we can hear what we're doing, and it's really nice.
I have fun doing that.
Yeah, me
Excellent.
too. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute now.
Oh, wait. Okay, go.
You started off with the great Yadush.
Oh, I
We have
forgot
to
that.
talk
yeah.
about where that comes from.
I called him the great one, and it comes from the great Yadush.
And Yadush comes from, tell him, Gab.
I think I remember.
Wait, does John remember? Let's see if he remembers.
Yeah, let's see if John remembers.
I don't know if our stories are going to mesh or not, but I remember that from the Greenbrier Hotel.
Yes.
Exactly.
We all
tour.
wanted to go on. We wanted to go on the tour.
On the bunker tour, right?
Yes,
Right,
yes.
exactly.
For our listeners who don't know, the Greenbrier is like the nicest hotel in the U.S.
In
But-
West Virginia.
Yes, West Virginia, in the depths of West Virginia.
Yeah.
They have
You
the
were saying
nicest
end.
motels there, too.
Oh, and
Yeah.
it has the bunker underneath that would house the entire Senate in case of a nuclear attack.
And it goes back to like Lincoln, right?
Well,
Those days?
The
probably.
Greenbrier's been there. The
Yeah.
bunkers was probably there since the 40s.
40.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were going on the tour.
Yeah. Of the bunker.
And, right. I think John booked
John
the tour
booked
for
it,
5
yeah.
or 6 of us. Then when we get there, take it over, Gab.
Well, I actually wasn't there.
Oh,
I wasn't
shit,
on
I
that
thought you
tour,
were.
but I just know the story.
We get there,
Did I
and there's
forget
like, you know,
Gabby, when I
I
booked
think
it?
so.
the hostess,
Sorry,
you know, she's
sorry, I'll take you. You and I will go.
Yeah, we'll go
do it. We'll do
next
our own
week.
she
tour of
looked
it.
like she looked like an airline stewardess. She has the Greenbrier blue outfit on, and she has the list in front of her, and she's calling everybody, you know, and we had to get in like a small bus so they could drive into the bunker. It's like all the way around back, and it gets to our group, and she goes, Yadush. I'm like,
Yeah, with the southern drawl.
Southern accent. And she says again, Yadush. And I said, there is, oh yes, I am Yadush. I am the great Yadush.
These are my people.
Yes, right, these are my people. I am the great Yadush.
Well, we had an overnight gig where it had to check with who checked in because they didn't have the card and they were using the band card and all this kind of stuff. So I go to the front desk. I forget where it was, but I said, okay, who's checked in already? And they're like, Mr. Yadush.
Yadush.
And I'm like, what was that again? He's like, Mr. Yadush. And I'm like, no, I think that's Yadush. I think that's a Y.
So close.
So every now and then when I hand him the check, I'm like, Mr. Yadush.
Oh, shit.
Well, what's the actual pronunciation, John? The real
Yadush.
It's actually Yadush.
Yadush.
With the ya sound.
Okay, Yadush.
Years ago, I found my grandfather. Now, I never met my father's parents, but his father, all my grandparents immigrated, and my father's parents, who I never met, I found his passport when he came over, and I still have it in our safe here.
Oh, wow.
And I was looking through it as a kid, and
sure
I
it's
see
not in
his
your
name
car?
was George. What's that?
You sure it's not in your car?
No, I hope not. His name was George Yadush, and it was actually spelled in the old country Jadusch.
Oh, wow.
Nice. That's what we
Yeah,
Just so
I
you
never
know,
knew that. My
Dracula
parents
called
never
it
told
the
me,
old
and
country.
I saw it on the passport, and then I guess they changed it when he got to Ellis Island.
Yeah, they did.
Did your grandfather speak like this?
Oh, no.
The children of the night. What sweet music they make. I know you don't drink wine. Come on, I hope there's a castle. I hope there's Castle Yadush. I hope there is.
That would be great.
Yeah. Happy Great Yadush. This is my castle. Hey.
I'll buy it if it's there.
Please to come
You
in to
will
my
not
castle.
see me during the day, but at the night I will be looking around.
Ed hasn't been drinking either.
I will be
I could
practicing
tell.
my real book tunes, the good one.
We can spare John any more
Yes.
of the torture. Except, John, if you want, you could stay on for the rest of the podcast.
Can I talk though if I want or not?
Yeah.
Just interrupting real fast because there's a handful of Chico's Vibe shows coming up in the next few months that you should put on your calendar. First is November 24th, Thanksgiving Eve. They will be playing at the Springfield Country Club, and they will be returning to the Springfield Country Club on New Year's Eve as well. Let us know your thoughts or send us set songs that you would like to hear them discussed at Chico's Vibecast at protonmail.com. It's in the episode description. And also, if you don't want to miss the next episode, be sure to like and subscribe to us on any of your podcasting apps and share it with your friends. Now, back to the show.
The next segment it's a regular segment of the podcast, John. I know you've listened to both episodes, so you're probably familiar with this. Regular segment of the podcast is I call, but I'm hoping you guys call it now too. Stories from the set list, where we talk.
Yep.
We discuss a song that Chico's Vibe plays, how we introduce the song into the set list, get your thoughts about what you think about playing the song itself, and then maybe some stories from gigs that tie to us playing the song. The song that we chose for this podcast, we picked it last podcast,
Right,
is Daydream Believer by the Monkees.
And it stings. Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen?
And we do this song as part of
The Monkees, man.
the Monkees Believer medley.
Right.
Yes.
Because
Believer.
the first
I'm a
song
Believer.
is I'm a Believer and the Daydream Believer.
Right.
And without digressing too much, I'm a Believer was written by
Neil Diamond?
Neil Diamond.
Yes, Neil Diamond, and sung by which one of the Monkees? I'm a
I'm a
Believer.
believer. Was, no, it was
Mickey
Mick
Dolenz.
Dolenz.
Mickey Dolenz,
Mickey
yes. Yeah. So, but then we we're going to talk a little bit more about Daydream Believer. So I was going to give a little bit of background on the original song, and then we can dive in.
Okay.
So Daydream Believer was released as a single on October 25th, 1967. So this is our first song that goes back to the 60s. We've done 270 songs so far.
Right.
It hit number 1 on the Billboard charts in December and stayed there for 4 weeks. It was the Monkees' last number 1 song.
Oh.
All 4 Monkees actually appear on the song because, there's a little bit of the...
Right.
Originally, the Monkees were just the face and the singers,
Yes.
but all 4 of them appear on the song. Davy Jones sings lead. Mickey Dolenz sings harmony. Interestingly, Peter Tork, who we all have something in common with, Peter Tork is on piano.
Yes.
So that's Peter
Yes.
Tork.
That's him.
It's kind of
Yeah.
cool. And Mike Nesmith is on electric guitar.
Yeah.
The song was written by a songwriter named John Stewart, John, not the comedian, John Stewart, who actually had a hit of his own in 1979, which you guys have all heard. And if you heard the song, you would recall it. It's called Gold. There's people out
recognize
there
the name.
turning music into gold. No?
Never heard it.
You heard it. But it's turning into you.
He's rubbing off on you.
It's like a werewolf fight. Because Stevie Nicks sings harmony on it. Lindsey Buckingham plays guitar. So it
Okay.
was a hit partially because it was like prime Fleetwood Mac time.
Right.
And But anyway, so he's a songwriter. He wrote the song Daydream Believer. Like I said, it was Monkees' last number 1. Monkees had 3 number 1s. Interestingly, it was I'm a Believer was one of them. Daydream Believer and
Clarksville?
Yes, Last Train to Clarksville was
Clarksville.
the third number 1.
Tell me about the
The
Monkees.
lead singer was Davy Jones. I had to mention this because looking up stuff about the song, I wanted to see if Ed knows this. Do you know what Star Trek character was partially inspired by Davy Jones?
Oh, Chekhov.
Yes, that's correct.
Wow.
In fact, they made him wear a wig on the first few episodes that he appeared in. The actor,
Just to look more like
just
Davy
to look
Jones?
like Davy Jones. Yeah.
But anyway, so that's the quick overview of
Yeah.
Daydream Believer. One thing I always like, it's such a happy, it
Yeah.
makes people smile
Yes.
when we start to play this song.
Yeah.
One thing I also like about the song is the little intro. There's a little spoken intro, which I don't know if you guys remember.
The one that I do?
No. Well, we're going to talk about that, but in the original single.
What's that number again, John?
Yeah.
7A. All right.
Just because I'm short. You know? And then it goes into the song. I think Chico's Vibe was already doing this song when we joined. That's my recollection.
Yeah, you guys put the
That's it.
horns
But
to
it was
it.
not a Hoey song.
No.
So who decided, let's do the Monkees medley?
I don't know. We were already doing I'm a Believer.
Well, I know that me and you used to
Yeah,
do
we
it.
used to do it.
We used to do it as a duo.
A lot of shit comes out of Chico and Gabby.
I understand that. I do remember you guys used to, you remember the song, we at some point did the song Don't Pull Your Love. Don't pull
Yes.
your love. That's because you guys did it. I remember.
Well, no, it wasn't a Chico and Gabby. That was, we learned that for Maria and Pat Dennon's wedding because he loved
okay,
the
there goes
song.
that story. But back to the Monkees medley.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Talk about how you guys.
Yeah, I don't. I guess we just mixed it in one.
Yeah.
And then what happened is Shrek came out, and Shrek
Well,
used,
yeah, with Daydream
Shrek
Believer.
used
That's a
Daydream-
great
Was it
point.
in that movie?
No.
Well,
I'm a
I'm a
Believer
believer.
was-
So that so it was a Smash Mouth was the name of the band. They
Yeah.
covered
Oh,
it. So,
right, yeah.
So it kind of introduced it to a whole new generation.
I was very impressed
Yeah,
you
and
didn't
I-
yell about Smash Mouth. Smash Mouth.
I almost wanted to.
But I did Daydream Believer and Chameleon
Oh my
as well.
goodness. Okay.
Because I remember the horn parts because we used to do Last Train to Clarksville also in Chameleon.
Great
so
song.
those two songs were kind of put together in Chameleon. But I don't know how we ended up. I think we just
Yeah, I think we just did it.
did it. Like
wasn't
on
hard.
a gig one time, we
Yeah.
just did I'm a Believer and then
Figured
Keep going.
probably
keep going with Daydream Believer.
Yeah. And
Then right into Boris the Spider.
Right.
that's right.
Yeah.
And then Don't
What a
Stop
medley.
Believing.
That's true. We could extend the whole
Yeah, we could just
believing.
keep Don't Stop Believing.
But I like because it just you.
But you guys threw horns into it, didn't you?
Well,
that
no,
was-
there was
me and-
always horn parts for Daydream Believer.
I believe so.
Giroux wrote that.
No, Jaros didn't write it. Who?
No.
It was his lawyer friend who wrote
Yeah,
it.
me and DeFebo.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
By the way, we can't find the chart. Do you know where?
DeFebo still has it. Probably, yeah.
Wait, I have to look. Maybe I
Uploaded to the
have it
Chico's
on.
Vibe satellite.
Chico's Vibe satellite.
It's geosynchronous orbit.
Daydream Believer. That's a nice.
And people
first of all,
do like the heel kick to that thing by the end of it when it's dun, dun, ksh, dun, ksh, you know. No, I'm telling like when I look out in the crowd, it's one of those songs that people get like
people love that song,
you know.
And it has that great line, "Homecoming Queen," which
That's
I like to put in there every now and
start
then.
then. How many homecoming queens do we have?
And sometimes there are.
There are.
Like
yes.
last week, Matron of Honor's toast. She said, and of course she was homecoming queen. And I said,
like, ding,
Right.
ding, ding,
Bing.
Ding, ding,
Perfect.
ding.
One problem I have is when you say, "Who's a homecoming queen out there?" My brain doesn't work right, and I think you want to do Dancing Queen, and I just go, because, and then we start the Monkees, and like, yeah, because Dancing Queen's painful. Because
I understand that.
So wait, since we have Yadush, what do you think about the Monk? There's not a lot to do on guitar in the Monkees medley, but what are your thoughts on that medley?
I like the medley. I do the well, it's got that guitar lick in the
I'm a believer.
in the
Yeah.
first one, and they're just good songs. So I like playing those. I never get tired of doing those too.
I agree.
They're fun songs. People like.
Yeah, they're good. And the people, you could see, like Ed's saying, you could see the people. People love those songs. They sing along.
Who else did a version of Daydream Believer? Was it Helen Reddy?
Anne Murray.
Anne Murray.
Yes,
That's it.
I've read way too much about Daydream Believer. In the,
'Cause I knew there was another version.
Anne
of
Murray, 1979.
Yeah. And of course, whenever we do it, and Mike Liney is, at the gig, he does his Monkey Davy Jones dance at
Which
the end
is
of the
great.
song
He
from the
nails
video
it.
of the song.
He nails it. He does like
He
that
does
side to side
nail it.
sway thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another Dennis shtick is naming the members of the band. And I
Yeah.
always try to come up with a dumb joke.
Yeah, you do.
I'm going to name the members of the band.
Led Zeppelin. No, it's not Zeppelin.
Well, Parky and I get excited when we do a joke we've been doing for 20 years, and somebody actually laughs at it. The one that we always do, and you'll be like, "Well, the suite table's open, the suites room is opened up," and we start to walk off the stage. No one ever laughs. Ever. But we've been doing it for like 17 years. We just keep plugging away at it. And then one time at Overbrook, you're like, "Well, the table's open there." And we started to step out. And this old guy in the front was like, and me and Parker were like, "We did it! Yeah! We're like,
Fine. It'll keep
we're
it
gonna
going
keep
for
it
another
in.
5 years.
And another thing on Daydream Believer, which you guys must see us. Well, the older we
Imitating, yes.
the older we get, the worse it gets. But we act out the first verse.
Yes.
You're waking up.
Yes.
It's getting
I
harder,
always trying to
harder and
get one
harder
of
to
those
do it.
pogo
The
horses.
shaven
stories.
razor's
I sorta get-
cold, and
I
it
sort of get a
stings.
little embarrassed when you guys do that, so I just turn to Gabby.
But it makes us so happy.
But oh my God, they're so cheesy. I can't believe it.
That's another thing.
Oh, my
Although
God.
you guys are very entertaining. There's no doubt about it. I originally started that, all right, tell me the name of the band. I'm going to give you the guys' names, Peter, Mickey. I originally started that because we needed a song somewhere. You know, the floor was dead or something, and we needed to put a song in. And instead of me saying the name of the song to tell you guys, I just did that. So you would all pick up
Always
on what
thinking.
it was.
He's always thinking.
And then I said, oh, well, the crowd kind of dug that. And now I can't even hear them when they holler up. Here's what I say, like,
It just gives.
who said it?
Give me
Who
that.
said it?
Yeah. They're all you hear is this.
I don't even hear that much. Who said it? You. Dennis, you sit over there. Oh, good. Come on up and sing it.
Or one of us is going, the Monkees. She said the Monkees. She said the Monkees.
No, but I like the other shit when I say, what band is Peter's in it and Mickey, and you guys come up with something else.
We go, Chico's voice! Yeah, we just yell all kinds of stuff.
Like Deep Purple. No.
You should do that one time and just go, you know what? Forget it. Forget it. We're not even doing it.
Well, one time, Dennis, you did the whole thing where you start, you're like, this guy was from Monsignor Bonner and he's going to sing one of the greatest. And I start to walk up to the mic like it's me. you know, and I just started going, and you're like, no, it's not you, Ed.
You're still like,
and I would walk away, and it was another thing. Nobody ever did it, but one time, Gallagher goes, "Yo, I just heard this lady say, oh, that poor man."
a couple times you went running off like. Sometimes like I wouldn't even say it on them. I'm like, it's not you. I just lean over like.
And then I walk away.
Oh man!
Oh shit!
Songs. We're fortunate in this song in some sense, and nobody seems to want to come up and sing. It seems like these are the kind of songs that people would want to come up and sing, but nobody ever has. That I recall, which is you know,
which we luck out on that. We like
yeah.
roll the dice.
Yes.
You know, if there was a song that nothing good ever happened on, it's usually You Can Leave Your Hat On. Like a fight always breaks out when you do that song. Do you remember?
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's like I just hear that. I'm like, here comes trouble.
Speaking of fights and Yadishes.
Yes. At the
What
big
was
club.
it? That's the big club. That was not a Halloween game.
No, it was just a party.
John, do you remember that skirmish
big
with your
brawl?
family?
I remember it happening. I don't remember it being during Halloween.
No,
I
it wasn't
remember
Halloween. It wasn't
happening.
Halloween.
I couldn't
It
believe
was-
what I was seeing.
Yeah, it was like a huge brawl.
They can hold their own.
Huge brawl.
She's tough.
Chip
She's
Urbano
tough.
dove over the board. He protected the board.
Chip Urbano.
Yeah, because they started shifting everybody
Very
out to
good,
the,
Chippy.
and he was just like, and the best thing was it was Love Train. It was
Yeah, Superstore
right.
Love Train.
People
That's
around the
right.
world, you just look up, join hands, chairs breaking over people's heads.
Oh my god!
It is fun in some sense watching a fight from the stage because it's like an amoeba. Like it's like has its own kind of
But I
motion.
saw what happened. I won't say the girl's name, but she like entered the solar
Julie?
system.
We know.
No, the girl who caused it. Yeah. Came into the solar system like a foreign meteorite, like hit, hit, and like just hit, and then orbited out, and then the fight happened like after. You know what I mean? It was just like this. It's like this little pebble went, and then
all the ripples, the ripple effect.
And it was like that jailbreak game. She bounced out of the board, and then everybody else was just
It's like the butterfly causing the hurricane.
And then I'm like, somebody call the police, and they said, "That's who's fighting right now.
yeah,
It's
they
the
are the
police. It's the police are fighting."
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, well, we didn't know John Viola well enough in those days.
But it was right. People around the world join hands. Love Train.
You mother.
Oh, good times.
I like the way podcast ends with a fight. You know, it's
Yeah, that kind of covers the Monkees medley.
yeah. Monkees medley.
Yeah.
So Ed, you get to pick the next song for our next podcast.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say it. Gabby's going to get a little upset, but more today than yesterday.
Oh, why would get
All right,
upset?
let's
He likes
go with
that song.
that.
It's one of those ones that sometimes he won't want to play it.
I think it's great. I
I'm
really
like, he
loves-
likes that song, and I'm looking
No,
at his
but
face, and he's like,
I wish you would have said shout.
Gary,
I thought you were going to say shout.
I'm
surprised you didn't say-
it packs the dance floor every time.
I'm
It's a
surprised.
good song.
I'm surprised you didn't say Bad Leroy Brown. I was a
Oh,
little
that-
disappointed.
Well, I think I was saying to you guys at one time, I was joking around. I was like, "Oh yeah, this client wants to hire us," and they said, "Well, like, what are the best songs we do?" I was like, Bad Leroy Brown, Green Eyes,
Green
by
Eyes.
Coldplay, like White Christmas. It's just, so occasionally we didn't start the fire. Maybe I could do half a verse of that.
What's that song? Islands in the Stream? No,
Islands,
not that.
yeah.
That's not that one. What's it called?
Save Tonight.
Oh, yeah.
The song. Yeah.
What was that song called? Something Island?
Island in the Sun.
Island
Oh
in
my
the
God,
Sun.
I
That's
forgot
it.
we
Hit.
did that.
Yeah.
Islands in the
Hit.
Stream. That's like Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton.
Islands in the Stream.
You should see a urologist, man. If you got that going on. Islands in the Stream. See a urologist.
Hey, try to feel.
Hey, I don't sing
my
and dance.
goodness.
This is all you're gonna get.
All right, to wrap it up, we got to pick, not pick, but we always end up the podcast talking about it, songs that we we asked John what song he would want to do in Chico's Vibe. So it's a song that, even if like John said, it's a song we would never do, but a song that you heard to be like, it'd be great to do in Chico's Vibe. So, and like I said, it can change from week to week. Geb's got something on his mind.
I have one.
Go ahead.
I would love to do. We tried to do it once.
We're not doing it.
I hate it.
Southern Cross.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Played it a trillion times.
You played it a trillion
You
times.
played it with me a trillion times.
I'm saying, but we've never done it in Chico's Vibe.
I can remember doing it once.
Isn't that what this segment is about? You know what? I'm done with this podcast. I hear it all the time, and I'm like, I love the harmonies.
Well, we're going to go with racist Southern songs, and that's not racist. I'll take Southern Man.
There you go. Okay.
How about that?
Look at that. That would be very interesting to do. That's not racist. That's anti-racist.
We'll never do it, which is part of the criteria.
I want us to do "Eye in the Sky" by Alan Parsons.
I didn't see that coming.
In the Sky. Wow.
Yeah, I saw them do it in
that
concert. No, eye in the sky, looking at you. I can read your mind.
Okay. All right. So
no, my mic's not on. Don't worry. Yeah. This is Halloween pumpkin
I'd like to
scream.
amend my choice, thinking more in terms of the band. I'd still love to do Higher Love.
Oh, that's a good one.
Steve Winwood.
You know what? One silly thing I love about that song is Shaka Khan sings the background vocals, and I love at the end, and she's like, "Bring me a high," and that Shaka Khan voice is like so kick ass.
Can we do Low Sparkle High Heel Boys instead by Stevie Winwood?
What?
Was that English?
That's geared towards Yadush.
Low Sparkle.
High Heel
I couldn't
Boys.
hear you, Dennis.
Low Sparkle High Heel Boys by Stevie Winwood instead of Higher Ground.
I don't know that one.
Yeah. You know the riff.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
You go listen to it. Only like the greatest song of all time. Right next.
I thought Daydream Believer was.
That's right.
That's right.
Hey, that's even
when he said it in his mic, it was like he ordering something at the drive-thru. Though I'll take the meal number 3 with the other with the large fry, and then the pizza and the smoke on the
Can you biggie that? Make it a biggie.
That's got a sax in it too,
You know
right?
what?
Oh well, let's do it. Let's do it then.
Yes.
Okay.
It has a sax in it, Ed.
Yeah,
And a vibro slap.
Oh, well. There you go.
I have a vibro slap.
Somebody stole it at a gig.
No, I have an extra.
Oh, we can bring it. Yeah, because we used to for feeling all right. We used to
Feeling all right. We used to use that.
This is actually a current song that we would sound great. You two would sound great on the "Leave the Door Open" by Silk Sonic, which is Bruno Mars and some other guys.
Oh,
That's,
yeah.
That's the newer
Where
song.
you want? Where you want? That you do.
Yeah.
Listen,
Leave the door open.
Yeah,
I only listen to Ed on new songs.
Then right into "Eye in the Sky," looking at you.
Producer Matt.
I was thinking about this whole time. You were talking about Halloween songs.
Yes.
Maybe not cover this whole thing, but next time you have an October show, find a spot to just break into a cappella version of Grim Grinning Ghosts from the Haunted Mansion ride for like 45 seconds.
How's that go, Ed?
When the cryptos creak and the tombstones quake, spooks come out for swinging way. Happy haunts materialize. And begin to vocalize.
Grim Grinning Ghosts come out to socialize.
And you know the bad part? The bad part is Matt's not going to edit this out.
Matt, because
be
I
out
love
there.
your mother so much, I'm not going to say anything.
Oh my goodness! But I think
Stuck in my head now.
that gets us to the end of episode 3
Yes,
of
it does.
the Vibecast.
Yeah.
John Yadush, thank you very much for taking the time to join us.
Yeah, John.
We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. That was fun. Thanks.
Yeah.
All
right.
All right.
Good night, people.
Thanks, folks.
Ghosts come
Thanks,
out
Matt.
to socialize.
Baby, all summer long. Wanna shine in the summertime. Shining all summer long. All summer long.
Yeah.
Woman screams.
Chantal!